Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999. Days later, his plane crashed into the Atlantic Ocean, and his rival, Hillary Clinton, was elected senator. Mary Mahoney was a Clinton White House intern. She knew enough of the inner workings of Bill's sexual advancements to be a star witness during the Clinton impeachment trials. She was brutally executed at a Starbucks she was managing in 1997. In 1993, White House counsel Vince Foster was found dead in Fort Marcy Park near D.C. He supposedly killed himself, and among a lengthy list of potential foul play, the bullet was never found. Then there's James McDougal, a key witness for White House prosecutors. He was serving his 3-year sentence for bank fraud at the Fort Worth Federal Medical Center in Texas. And just before he was to give a testimony before the grand jury, McDougal suffered a heart attack in solitary confinement. In 2015, Walter Scheib, a White House chef hired under Bill Clinton, joined the list. His body was found at the bottom of a river, nearly 2 miles from the base of the trail he was reportedly hiking. An autopsy determined that Scheib's death was accidental drowning, but he might have known too much. 27-year-old Democratic National Committee staffer Seth Rich was shot and killed in D.C. this year. There is speculation that he was the source of the controversial leaked emails allegedly sent by DNC staffers, and that he may have been murdered in retaliation. Then Sean Lucas, the lead attorney in a fraud case against the DNC, was found lying on the bathroom floor by his girlfriend when she returned home on August 2nd. His death was reported classified, pending the results of an autopsy. To this day, questions
List of 10 former Clinton employees that have mysteriously died. Number 10, Seth Rich. Staff member for the DNC who worked directly with the Clinton campaign. He had intimate knowledge of the DNC email servers, and some credit him with being the whistleblower that leaked the DNC emails to WikiLeaks. He was found shot to death in an upscale neighborhood in Washington, D.C. To this day, his murder remains unsolved. Number 9, Walter Scheib, former chef for the Clintons. In 2015, on a hiking trip, he slipped and drowned in a nearby lake. Number 8, Mark Middleton, a former Clinton aide with ties to Jeffrey Epstein, and on 8 separate occasions was the person who checked Epstein into the White House. He died of a gunshot suicide in his own home. Number 7, Dana Hyde, prominent D.C. lawyer who served as a senior aide for both Obama and Clinton. She died due to turbulence on a private plane ride with 4 other people. The other people on the plane were all fine. List of 10 former...
When you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, this is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, died of an apparent heart attack. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop. Victor Razor, you got Ed Woolley. It's 46 names.
He's just reading the article. He's reading a list of names.
So,
he hasn't even asked the question. It's a list.
The fact that you're getting nervous is an answer.
It's not
okay?
nervous. This is something
Let
makes
me
me
wrap
sick
it.
when you repeat
Exactly, makes us sick as well.
How about you pick one? Pick one and tell me who he was and what his story was.
Call up Vince Foster if you want.
Vince Foster, that suicide has been investigated 50 times.
Can you let me ask the question?
No, listen, this is a conversation. We're having a conversation.
I'm sorry, I'm the host. You're invited to your podcast, you get to ask the question. I'm the host. I want to ask you the question. Your reaction is already an answer.
I know, I am infuriated by people who drag other people's names who are powerless. You're not powerless.
Hillary Clinton is powerless?
No, these people.
Hillary Clinton is powerless.
These people.
That's the problem.
These people.
Hillary's the problem.
Some jackass made a list in his basement.
You have the right to
You're reading their names as if they're incriminating in some way. Some conspiracy theory podcast, a conspiracy theory that 9 people read. You find some guy that comes in, and then you go.
Your reputation is you like to text underage girls, sending pictures of your dangling. Whatever you do, you can't do anything about it. How is it that the reputation that follows them as people close to them die? Okay.
You should cut that list out of those
Sure,
names. We should still have the argument. You and I are big boys. Cut that list out.
I'm not going to be cutting that list. When you go.
Remember John F. Kennedy Jr.? He was declared the front-runner for the New York Senate seat back in 1999.
And that movie that they made that they called America Made was written as Mina. And when Hillary was running for president, the Democratic Party stopped it. And even the director quit. And they changed part of the script, and they changed the name to America Made. The whole thing's about Mena, Arkansas, and Bill Clinton and a couple of boys that got killed on the railroad track and put up there by the sheriff to get chopped up. And there's some stories there.
They got Clintoned.
They claim it is him. I'm glad I didn't meet him. Looked like he was on a plane somewhere that he shouldn't have been here recently, too.
Yep. He's got a couple paintings down there, too, from what I hear.
Yeah, and his brother Roger got caught with some cocaine, and he pardoned him, but he didn't pardon me.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Clintons killed anybody, and I'm not saying that they had anybody killed. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I am a fan of murder mysteries, murder podcasts, murder documentaries. I love it. I love it. I'm fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the work that the investigators do. And one word that comes up a lot is motive. Motive. And when there is motive, the likelihood or the percentage of possibility that you were the murderer goes up. The motive raises the percentage of possibility that you might have been who murdered that person. Having said that, how many people have died now who are direct contacts of the Clintons, of Clinton cases, court cases, leaked files, etc.? How many people? And there's so much motive. At every turn, there is motive, motive, motive. And yet, nothing is done. Nothing has been done. Why are they so untouchable? Why is there any question by the left that these people are monsters?
I gotta ask you this because we talked about Bill Clinton in the past, but do you know if that Bill Clinton was the driver for Hale Boggs's car to the airport?
I think I was the first one to point that out in Hidden History. Yeah, I wrote. I have it in. Yeah, he was a very young man, and and of course I was pointing out. Well, technically, I wasn't. As I said, he drove him on his. He dropped him off for his flight to oblivion. Technically, he dropped him off at the airport, and then he had a connecting flight after that to oblivion. But he still drove him to the airport.
I know, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, and he was, again, we're told Bill Clinton was like all these people. The lore is they come from poverty, or they're nobody knows they came from nowhere.
They come from tubes bred into the deep state skin.
Well, he was in a position of power somehow to drive a powerful political figure like Hale Boggs to the airport. So he was being groomed to something. Just like it's no mistake when he was at the White House as a Boy Scout. He's the one they took the picture of, smiling and shaking the hands of Jay. I mean, come on, what are the odds?
I gotta ask you this.
A tragically strange coincidence. Tafari is not the only presidential chef to drown. Clinton chef also drowned.
These are conspiracy theories. These are conspiracy theories that
all
that
have books about them, though.
Right, but the one thing that we did look up that wasn't a conspiracy theory was the following. And this is the one that's kind of weird. And first thing I asked myself is, how the hell is our guy here, Anthony Weiner, still alive? What do you mean by that? Well, when you go through the list of people that have been close to Hillary Clinton and the Clintons, and the Deadpool. This is not a conspiracy. You got the names of James McDougal, okay, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack. Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown.
Ron Brown, he died in a plane crash.
Vince Foster was the next one. By the way, the James Dougal was a key witness in a key Ken Starr investigation.
Ron Brown was in a plane crash. Why is he on the list?
Ron Brown is another one, but there was a close person to this. Victor Razor. You got Paul Tooley, Ed Woolley.
Wait a minute. You're reading a list of people that Bill and Hillary Clinton knew. They're 80. They're 70 something years old.
I'm asking you this question. I'm asking you this question and an answer at the end. So you got Jerry Parks, Jane Bunch, James Wilson, Kathy Ferguson, Bill Shelton, Candy Bow, Florence Martin, Susan Coleman, Paula Grober, Danny Casolero, Paula Wilker, John Parnell Walker, Barbara Weiss. We should verify this yourself because you're running a radio show. You should look it up.
Charles
Meisner, Dr. Stanley Hurd, Barry Beal, Barry Seal.
A tragically strange coincidence.
My fellow Americans, today you may be waiting for the highly anticipated Epstein client list to be released. So while I know you may see what appears to be my name on the list, I'd like to argue that I did not have sexual relations with those children on that island.
Involved in various murder conspiracy theories, she has been called the most dangerous woman in America. Hillary is also known as the most likely woman to be elected president since the founding of the United States, the first lady to hold public office in the history of the United States. Yes, in terms of political tactics, Hillary is absolutely murderous, but she is one step short of the presidency. It is said that she has a death list in her hands, and all the people who caused obstruction to the couples politically have disappeared strangely. Is this true? What is Hillary's path to power? In today's video, I'll tell you about her stories in American politics. Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton. Hillary was born in a middle-class family in Chicago in 1947. Her father was a bad-tempered businessman, a wolf father, as it were. His parents were always hitting Hillary or yelling at her. Hillary grew up with good grades and often came home with perfect scores. Her father did not encourage her at all, but disdainfully said to her that the subject was too easy. Yet Hillary grew up with a strong character. Her father's disparagement surprisingly played a role in stimulating her potential. In 1965, Hillary enrolled in Vail Private College to major in political science. It was at this school, one of the finest women's colleges in America, that Hillary's feminist consciousness awakened. The idea that women should not come second took root in her heart. She became the first student to deliver a speech at the college's graduation ceremony, sparking the attention of the community. In 1974, at the age of 26, fresh out of Yale University, Hillary was recommended with honors to an impeachment investigation team in the House of Representatives. This was an important point in her entry into politics arena. At a young age, she and a group of lawyers got Nixon into the Watergate scandal. And she earned the goodwill of politicians with this result. But what really made her step from a lawyer to the top of the pyramid of American politics was the emergence of Clinton. What involved?
I had to redo this video. Look in the background at these men, Bill Clinton being one, and how he cannot control himself. His eyes say it.
Mark Middleton died last year in May of 2022. Mark Middleton was a special assistant to President Bill Clinton and was the assistant to the chief of staff during Clinton's presidency. Mark Middleton was the person who introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Bill and authorized Jeffrey Epstein's 17 visits to the White House during Clinton's presidency. Mark Middleton was found dead on a farm owned by a nonprofit agency with ties to the Clintons. He was found hanging from a tree with a shotgun wound that blew a hole through his chest. Mark Middleton, drove 30 miles away from his house to this farm that's coincidentally had ties to the Clintons, right? He bought a table, an extension cord, and a shotgun. He tied the extension cord around a tree, climbed on top of the table, put the extension cord around his neck, and then for good measure, shot himself in the chest with the shotgun before hanging himself. Okay. Now, I think the shotgun was going to do the job. Now, he didn't need to hang himself in the process, but hey, whatever. Maybe he was trying to make sure the job got done. Now, you would think this is this has foul play written all over it, right? And the cops would be investigating this as a murder, and the case is still open because there's no way Mark Middleton shot himself with the shotgun in the chest. Well, you're wrong. Exclusive! Arkansas cop rules suicide and death of Clinton aide linked to Jeffrey Epstein, who was found shot and tied to a tree with an electrical cord around his neck, despite no sign of weapon. All right. The grisly scene where a top Bill Clinton advisor was found hanged from a tree with a gunshot wound to his chest has finally been revealed 9 months after he died. But the sheriff's report into Mark Middleton's mysterious death raises more questions than answers, as it rules he died by suicide. And so it took 9 months for them to... Okay, whatever. despite no sign of a weapon that killed him. All right. So, all of a sudden, after a year of saying there was no gun found, right, on the scene of the crime or the suicide,